fiscal side, there are limited changes, which I think is a good thing because we had to align with the IMF program and ensure that some of those fiscal targets are being met. So that part of it, we are seeing it clearly, and that's a good sign. Always when you talk about budgets, generally people want to see changes and all kinds of new things being introduced. But I think in a way, consistency and continuation is one of the key things that we expect from macroeconomic environment in particular, and then also bringing it into the fiscal side as well. So this looks to be continuing on that front, which is a good news. So that's the first positive side I see. Secondly, I think it also looks at bringing in some public investment back. As we all know, the last few years we had significant challenges in allocating funds for the fiscal expansions and then particularly the public investment. So there have been quite a bit of funding being allocated. And that too will be towards specific projects that have been stalled, first to restart some of them, which is very important, and then also to allocate and put the money into the ground so that fuel the growth. I think we heard from the Deputy Minister also talking about at least 2% of growth coming in with some of these investments going in, which probably debatable because the growth will not come in the same year that the money goes in, so there will be a lag effect. But some of the continuations of stalled projects will be important. So that gives the development orientation. At least a kick start from 2025, looking at the next couple of years on the development front is important. The third aspect is, I think, when you look at it from, I think the first paragraph itself talk about the exports. I think we've been talking about exports for a number of years and the continuation and the growth. So there are certain parameters and frameworks that have been spoken about, particularly looking at the FTEs, particularly looking at some of the other support that is needed in the broader SME sector. But I think it's also important that these export growth targets are being backed by certain specific areas of support that need to be given by the government, particularly to sectors in the SME category. Large organizations will always have their own way of investing and getting there, but the challenge today in the world is being competitive, right? And to be competitive, naturally, you need to have the type of scale and investment going into some of those initiatives on R&D side. And we saw some specific mention about the R&D, but I'm not sure exactly where that's being allocated and looked at. But I'm sure this is an area which we need to focus, because investment into the R&D piece is a crucial thing. Government-led incentives on that front is useful for the SME sector, because the SME sector actually struggles to find money to invest in R&D side, though some of the large organizations can afford to. So these are, again, areas that need to get expanded, but I think, like Nishant said earlier, surely it's all about implementation at the end of the day. We've seen many budget speeches elaborating many initiatives and fund allocations, but maybe not even 50% get implemented. So key would be, how do we get to the implementation stage and drive these into action?